Day in the Life of Jill. Each day, Jill walks 3.5 miles with her child to collect water for food, drinking, and sanitation. On the walk back, she must carry a 40-pound water canister while caring for her child. The day's water requirements for Jill's family of 3 must be met by that water alone. This means that her entire family uses less than 5 gallons of water a day. The water comes from an untreated and unregulated source, which means there's a high risk of disease. And there's a lot of competition for that water. Jill must often wait in line. Her 3-year-old is sick frequently with diarrhea, and Jill worries. She knows a lot of mothers lose their children to this disease. And she wonders what it would be like to have a job and help out her family. But she knows there's no time for this. She spends all her time and energy collecting water. Jill's story is not unique. According to the World Health Organization, 1 billion people lack access to safe drinking water, and 2.5 billion lack access to improved sanitation. Women are disproportionately assigned the task of acquiring water, often at an early age. Prof. explained, in half of all households worldwide, water is carried home, and in 72% of those households, women and girls are the primary collectors. A lack of sanitation and clean water puts girls and women at a disadvantage and a risk. Many girls drop out of school near puberty since there are no toilets or adequate water for hygiene. Many are also assigned the task early in life and age to gather the water and no longer have time to attend school. Additionally, carrying heavy objects and containers every day for long distances can cause joint back problems and other health injuries as well to these women. And since they care for the households and clean and prepare food, this is made more difficult and time-consuming due to a lack of water. Since they're using 5 gallons a day for a family of 3 compared with the U.S., who uses about 300 gallons for a family of 3 a day. Women also risk assault when collecting water and when they need to relieve themselves outdoors, particularly at night. Time spent collecting water and caring for the ill negatively affects women's productivity. Kramer reports, every day women around the world spend close to 200 million hours collecting water for domestic use. Women also spend a lot of time caring for those who become ill from waterborne illnesses and from insufficient sanitation. All this time they could be spent learning a trade, or getting further education, or working, which would help them gain independence and would also help their local economies. A lack of sanitary water means that many postpartum mothers, infants, and children die from preventable diseases that adequate hand washing or clean water can prevent. Lack of clean water access places pregnant women at a health risk. According to Prof, a pregnant woman who lacks an unapproved water source is likely to have to collect and carry water to her baby's delivery from a hand pump outside her home. Globally, more than 40% of households do not have a water supply on the premise. If she's very unfortunate, she will be among the 13% who do not even have a hand pump and will rely on an unapproved source. Infant and child mortality rates are also high in these areas. According to the World Health Organization, diarrhea kills 1.8 million people yearly. 90% of those are children under the age of 5. Improved water supplies could reduce this rate by 21%. Improved sanitation could reduce this rate further by 37%. Unsanitary conditions and lack of access to clean water also occur within the United States. Migrant farm workers frequently live in working conditions where clean water and sanitation is not readily available. Because of this, open defecation in or near fields can become a problem without sufficient toilet access. Additionally, without an adequate means of hand washing available, there is a risk of contamination that can occur to fruits and vegetables during handling or harvesting, placing workers, the families, and consumers at risk. Many reservations also lack sufficient water and plumbing. James Schaff's reports 2.6% of homes in tribal areas lack complete plumbing facilities, compared with 0.42% nationwide. So many women on reservations must also walk to find a water source in order to meet their daily needs. Sometimes the water available on the reservations can be heavily polluted. Elizabeth Shogren explains that the oil and gas fields on Wind River Reservation have the federal government's permission to dump wastewater on that land, so much that it creates streams that flow into natural creeks and rivers, and this water contains toxic chemicals, including known carcinogens and radioactive material. The drinking water in Fort Belknap Reservation is contaminated from the Zorton and Landusky mine due to multiple cyanide spills and acid mine runoff. According to Earthworks, water pollution generated by this mine is so severe that expensive water treatment systems would have to be operated forever. Contamination from uranium mines have also been causing health problems, including cancer for many Navajo. According to Katie Welder, No corporate entity has ever been prosecuted for uranium contamination on Navajo soil, yet as far back as the 1930s, there was an awareness of the health risks associated with uranium. Somehow this message never made it to the Navajo. Advances have been made. The World Health Organization reports that 1.8 billion people gained access to improved water sanitation facilities between 1990 and 2010. They also state that the proportion of the world's population with access to improved drinking water sources increased from 76 to 89% globally from 1990 and 2010. A part of the Millennium Goal by 2015 is to halve the proportion of people without sustainable access to safe drinking water and basic sanitation. But according to Bertram, even if the sanitation target is met, 1.6 billion people will still lack even a simple improved latrine at home. And if the drinking target is reached by 2015, 800 million people will still live in homes where water is collected from distant or unprotected sources. There are things that can be done. It's important to empower women to be a part of making decisions about water policy and innovativeness and provide them with the tools and the environment to do so. Water for Life reports, while the potential contributions are considerable, women in developing countries often lack access to tools such as computer and internet to disseminate their ideas and apply for funds. Instructing women in project management and fundraising may empower them to launch new projects and contribute to poverty alleviation independently. It's also important to invest and assist for funding and building of sanitation and water systems and educating and training on their use and maintenance. It also helps to conserve and preserve water quality and using water responsibly, and to encourage state and government participation in helping to promote and enforce water conservation, preservation, and access issues, and to raise awareness of the sanitation and clean water issues that affect millions of people worldwide and are disproportionately affecting women. Some takeaway points are 1.1 billion people lack access to clean drinking water, and 2.5 billion lack access to improved sanitation. Women are the ones who are disproportionately affected by this. And because of this lack of access, many people die from preventable causes. This is something that also happens in the United States. And although improvements have been made, there are many people who still need help. Your help could make a big difference.